marriage.
Until we come back and say,
Until they deliver. See, I'm waiting for the delivery service to happen.
somebody said, well, how is Tom and Marcia going to get all that stuff back? I said, yes.
Did he discuss the delivery charge with you?
A bag of grapefruit. It's out in the car.
Well, Marcia, you've been coming to the Lyons farm for some years. How has your life been here on the farm?
How has my life been? Well, now that the pigs are gone.
A little better, I think.
I don't have to talk with that nasal tone. I'm a city girl, so this is all new to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. And so I just found out that a fertilizer spreader was a honey wagon.
Yes.
That's real special.
That's real special.
Yes. It's neat. Everyone
Yeah.
up here is so warm and friendly, and it's just a wonderful experience. Wonderful. And Michelle said to me,
Your daughter.
My daughter said to me, oh, I wish I were going. She has such wonderful memories of up here.
Yes. No. Michelle came with a friend a few years ago, I think, and stayed a little while with you.
Yeah, you see there's more gray hair up there than when just her 6 girls. It was a long week, hey, Pearl?
Oh, we had fun.
Yes. Now.
And they brought back a whole tub of corn.
Sweet corn.
Sweet corn. What, two styrofoam coolers of sweet corn.
On the plane.
On the plane. They were so excited.
Now,
I think we threw in a few packages
pork
of pork chops
Yes,
and bacon. And
did.
It was all frozen yet when they got there. So.
Now, I think you know this, but my brother Tom, your husband, has the distinction of being born on this farm. And he and Jack have a distinction none of the rest of us do.
Oh, Jack was born?
Yeah, Jack was here also.
So that means he title passes to one of them?
Well, I think if it was, what's that called, primogeniture? I mean, I think if the line went that far, they at least would have they have first bragging rights. I think that's what it amounts to. Well, shall we? I wanted to comment briefly. Pat and Pearl have a document none of us ever saw called the Abstract of Title to this farm, which traces this history through the owners back to 1892 or so. But along with all the interesting stuff in here, I discovered that the Willowdale School, which is over there, and we might get a shot of it later, that way to the north, was also the site of church services regularly at an earlier time. And this deed makes reference, or perhaps I'm combining my stories, the deed makes reference that, according to the Homestead Act, a certain portion of acreage must be designated and donated for a country school. I'm confusing my story slightly, but the point remains the same. It's some other information Alma Schlafly gave to us with these photos that tells us the school was the site for Sunday church services, I think including a Sunday school and church services, and also it says there were some people baptized over there. The Methodists gathered there. I never knew that. She comments today, of course, somebody would say, oh, church and state. But to us, it's the Lyons family farm, but the school was a part of this farm, and our life was really rooted in the farm, our social life, our educational life. And that school was the place not only where we went to school, but it's where we gathered for picnics and 4-H and voted and everything. Now, Pearl, I think some of your girls went there.
Just
for maybe preschool.
Preschool or into kindergarten. All the rest of the time they went to Sacred Heart. But that school was given back to the owners of the land when the school closed in, I think it was 68 or 69.
Yes.
When was the school built?
I don't think we know exactly. It had to be way back
this
in the
school used to be
1870s,
across
80s.
the road in that field. And then when it started flooding so bad around here, then they moved it over across the road. But that schoolhouse now is, we have given the schoolhouse to the Lewis and Clark Winter Wheelers, which is the snowmobile club, to use. We give it to them to use free as long as they maintain it and keep it up.
They're doing a good job.
Oh, they're doing a wonderful job.
Well, it's very a happy development after all of these years that now when we come to the farm, the road really has a name, and the name of the road is Willowdale Road. So in the future, if anybody asks for directions, instead of saying it's a mile from the liquor store or something to that effect, we can say go to Willowdale Road and turn left.
I just want to know how you knew it was exactly a mile from the liquor store.
My older brothers told me that. Did I see Susan around the corner? Come on in, Susan. This is Pearl's daughter, Susan, and my niece, and she grew up in this farm. Yeah. Susan, good morning. Now, I remember last night, I overheard you telling a little story to my wife, Nona, and some others about when you grew up here, your pleasant task was cleaning the hog house, which you did not like at that time, but you have another view of it now.
Well, at the time, I certainly did not like to do it, especially when you had to go to school, or if you had some after-school activities planned to have to come in and take a shower and basically start all over again. But as an adult, I think I look back on it with fond memories now because it's just part of the farm, and I think it taught a lot of discipline. And I look on it fondly now, even though at the time it certainly was not anything that I enjoyed doing.
Well, I'm sure all six of you had all of your regular daily rhythm of chores and responsibilities as we did.
Yeah. Especially when we had 4-H cattle. That was our responsibility. We went out and fed them in the morning and at night.
And... You know, I don't remember some of that so pretty. What did you raise in 4-H?
Well, we had beef cattle, and then we also did some with the hogs, but I was more fond of the cattle.
Yeah.
It was interesting because Dad would buy the cattle, and about 2 months before it was time to show them for 4-H, we went out and got drug around the yard several times. By this
cattle were breaking you.
This big steer, yes.
You were to be breaking them.
Yeah, we put the halter on and prayed. I remembered a few times when we knew that they were particularly wild, we'd tie them on the back of the tractor and just try to get them used to being out in the wide open with the halter on. It's an interesting experience.
When you had the black Angus calf, and we had it up to the 4-H building, and he was so used to Susan that she could get down behind him and prune his hooves and just comb his tail and everything. But a stranger would walk, and those old back hooves just would come right out. Just they knew who their owner was and who their friend was.
Well, Susan, when I talking to Tom and Jack, I made a comment. Each one of us had some little special talent in certain ways. And what I remember a little bit of your growing up, along with the chores and all that, you have a special talent for kind of artistic and arranging and refinishing, like the Edison in the basement, and sewing. And I think you still have that interest. I wanted to mention Susan. Jim, stick your head out here. Susan's husband, Jim, is here. Live in Sioux Falls. Susan works with vocational rehabilitation and getting jobs for handicapped people in Sioux Falls. And Jim works with visually impaired and blind people in the state of South Dakota. And I think that you have a shared interest or continued interest with Jim in your house and developing things. Did you sew a lot and also in 4-H?
Oh yeah, that was a particular interest. I can remember the first time I sat in front of the sewing machine. I was probably 7 years old, and I was in tears before the project even got underway, and I think Mom was probably ready to wring my neck, although she was really patient with me. And with her persistence, I
Was this
finally
the
learned
sewing
how to
machine
sew.
we spoke of last night? That what? Oh, it's somebody else's sewing machine. Well, I don't know if we'll get down to see it, but this house has a wonderful Edison music record player, which I think came from my grandparents or somewhere along the line.
Yeah, it belonged to your mother's brother, Francis, I think, was
Yes.
the one that...
Well, I know Susan, I believe, refurbished and stripped it, and it is absolutely elegant and beautiful, like this.
Yeah, it really turned out nice. I did that as a 4-H project also. It's
She recovered a
interesting to see.
chair, which she got a purple ribbon on.
Yeah, I don't think a lot about 4-H, but that was really a big part of our lives, I think.
Well, you know, I think for you and for us, that 4-H was a wonderful program because I mean, it continued to teach us some responsibility, but all the social skills. We weren't just trying to make that calf look nice showing in public, but we had to look nice, and some sense of money responsibilities, and if you didn't get out to feed those steers, no one else was going to do it for you.
Tell them about the time you had the ingrown toenail.
Oh. I had, around achievement days, I had an ingrown toenail, and I went to the doctor, and he was working with me on it, and he put a wick underneath it, and we were showing our cattle, and of all things, this 1,200-pound steer decided to step on that toe. And it was really hard to try and keep composure when all you want to do is run and yell in pain. But we got through it.
You did it gracefully, I'm sure.
It was an interesting experience. I'm sure that there was a look of anguish on my face. But
Well, when you speak of that, I'm reminded, I think you also told us at one time, weren't you all dressed up in your finest dress going out, I don't know, to the prom or a date or a wedding or something, and the cattle got out? Oh, was that your sister Barbara's wedding? And you went out in your high heels up and down the corn rows?
yeah, I was chasing cattle to get them in.
See, Dick, it wasn't all fun and roses out here.
Well, there was a regularity to our lives, but also the excitement of the unexpected. Because the hogs would get out sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
the cattle would get out.
One thing about a hog, he could always find his hole to get out,
Yeah.
but he could never find it to get back in again.
He always managed to find the garden spot, too. That was their favorite.
Well, should maybe just we'll have Dave just walk. We're not going to give a tour of the house, but just maybe we'll just walk into the living room and see the beautiful addition and just the kitchen, and then we'll pause and
All the stuff that's laying in there.
yes. We're standing in Pearl's living room, and right about where I am is where the living room used to stop, and some years ago Pat and Pearl put on a wonderful extension here to make it even more pleasant for everyone when we all come home. But this, no, they didn't do it for us. But this, our nephew Sean, Jack and Margaret's boy, I believe, helped restore these.
These were black. They had so many coats of varnish on them that they were black and even checkered.
Yeah.
And we refinished all the woodwork in
And
this room.
it's absolutely beautiful. And this door has never been so beautiful as it was or is when it's been restored. And
And the stairway.
Dave, come on in. We'll get a shot of the stairway. And while you're there, when Pat and Pearl did this, my mother, Mary Lyons, for the occasion, had a little decree printed up and on the occasion. I'm just going to read a part of it. It's for Pat and Pearl, and my mother and all of us kids signed it. That's okay, children. All the little grandchildren.